Hey guys, this is Sam with the Nixon Offroad crew. Now you know we love all things off-road, like our beautiful new inner fender liners here for the Jeep Wrangler, but we also know that adventure goes beyond just the off-roads. It's also about safety, and we want to make sure that not only do you have the best parts, but you also have the best knowledge. So today we're going to talk about when you're in the backcountry, how do you navigate back there? How do you stay safe? How do you know where you're going? So we're going to be looking at 4 tools here that I always carry with me. I've been in the outdoor industry a long time. I've carried these things with me for over 10 years and they've never steered me wrong. Now next we're going to talk about the portable GPS unit, and of the 3 options, this one has the absolute strongest antenna. This thing is designed to be an outdoor tool. It has tons of additional functionality that includes route tracking, waypoint marking, elevation plotting, things that are very, very handy in off-road situations. These things are also built to last. As you can see with mine, it's taken some abuse. This thing's been in a fair few places around the world and it has never failed me. I have dropped it on a few occasions and it just keeps on going. These things are also very, very portable. They get even smaller than this and they accept batteries, which for me is really, really important because it's not easy. You're not always able to find a power bank, but you can always find batteries. Okay, so the cons with this device. First of all, you know it runs on batteries, so if it runs out of power, it's pretty useless to you. Next thing is, this thing, it does not actually come ready to use. You're gonna want to invest an extra $60, $80, $100 in additional map packs to really dial it down to the navigation that you need. These devices also lack communication most of the time, and if you have it constantly running, it drains the battery really quick. So when I use this, I turn it on for about 5-10 minutes at a time, and then I turn it off. I might plot a waypoint, turn it off, and keep going. But having said all that, this is something I would never leave home without. This thing goes in my Jeep along with my keys. It's just as important. Next is our trusty Topo Maps. Now these things are the definitive ultimate backup options. There's no power needed to run them. They're waterproof, they're tear resistant, and they offer a level of detail that is definitely going to get you through. These things are also incredibly accurate for zoning boundaries in terms of national parks, things like that, and they include ranger information with the address and phone numbers of all the local ranger stations, which can be pretty important. The cons of these Topo Maps. I've had numerous experiences where I've gone to a campsite or driven a long road to see a beautiful spot and realize that it is sometimes not there. Sometimes that watering hole is not there. Sometimes that lake is not as full as you would like it to be. So definitely check in with the rangers on the local conditions before you leave on your off-road adventure. And I don't tell you when you buy these things, but they do require some level of topography insight. You've got to be able to pick out landmarks, especially the high ones, ridge lines, mountains. If you're going to use these effectively and even rely on them, you need to be able to pick out one mountain from another, for example. But these things are absolutely solid. Again, I never leave without them. They're in my Jeep all the time. Next up is the smartphone. First of all, you can get off-road apps on these things. You can download Google Maps onto this and actually have offline functionality. Provided you have reception, you can make calls on it and reach the outside world. And you have a customized interface. There's not a huge learning curve to this thing. You'll have set it for yourself and it'll be good to go. Now the cons with this thing. Well, the obvious one is it requires power to run and it doesn't accept batteries. That makes your options for recharging it rather limited. These things are also not made to be trail rated strong. That means if you drop these, you might break it. If you break it, it might as well be a brick. It's not going to serve you. But the biggest weakness of these things is that the antenna is actually pretty weak when it comes to outdoor environments, especially in low-lying areas, canyons, valleys. This thing is not always going to work. And there you have it, the tools, the navigation tools I never leave home without. They live in my Jeep most of the time. You're probably wondering which is the best one. Now, I'm not going to answer that because honestly, you should carry all 3. Each of these has their weaknesses and their strengths, and one of them is never going to be absolutely it. I believe in backups on backups. Get out there, stay safe, everyone.